Welcome to another edition of Adam Curry Presents. Thank you all for tuning into Decades Galore all March long. It was a ball. On today's episode, before he was Magnum, Tom Selleck was a contestant of the dating game back in 1967. Sit back and relax and we'll be right back. Give me that. Strawberry alarm clock, hit it.
Mary Ann Lynch took off at 7:45 a.m., flew 2,949 miles, made 3 stops. And most of the trip still lies ahead. Now there are schedules to check, flight reports to make, a quick supper with friends before turning in. Next morning, on the go again at 6:15. Then St. Louis, Cincinnati, finally New York. Glamour job, Mary Ann has made dozens of runs like this, served hundreds of hot meals, greeted thousands of new people. It all demands a lot of charm and works out to a lot of Coke. Does Coca-Cola have the taste you never get tired of? Do we mean it when we say Coke is always refreshing? Is things go better with Coke after Coke after Coke just a slogan? Write Miss Mary Ann Lynch, Trans World Airlines, Box 7144, St. Louis, Missouri. She'll tell you.
Free from Lifebuoy, this big handy food box. Look at all the food it keeps fresh. Free. And there's money off Lifebuoy too. Get the special Lifebuoy packs and send for the big free food box.
Look! There's the land of wheat and honey.
The land of wheat and honey where sugar puffs grow on trees. The sky is bright, the children bonny and so full of energy. Sugar puffs are so crisp and good. That's why the kiddies all love them. For in the land of wheat and honey, there's sugar puffs energy. Sugar puffs.
A diamond surface isn't just a pretty face. It's tough. Diamond's tough. Diamond can take it. Diamond polyurethane, the toughest finish ever made, and the most brilliant. The trouble with sunfat nuts is so many people like them.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Give me strength.
You've got it. In Louisville's Underwater Army, each green, speckly spoonful holds an underwater army of enzymes, nature's own stain destroyers. Louisville's enzymes conquer even deep, dried-in stains, egg stains, cocoa, sweat marks, blood spots. Lift them right off the cloth. Then Louisville's own cleansers and brighteners start whiteness where the stain was.
Oh, yes, it's spotless.
Win your war against stains with Louisville's Underwater Army.
From Hollywood, in color, it's The Dating Game. And here's the star of our show, and your host, Jim Lange. Thank you. Wow. A goodly group. Thank you. Welcome and a good Saturday evening to you. You know, anyone with literary leanings can easily list the deeds done in the name of love by the daring heroes of yore. The St. George demolished a dragon to protect his fair lady. Romeo dueling the terrible-tempered Tybalt for a love of Juliet, and Tarzan eliminating a crocodile who dared to snap at Jane. Well, here on The Dating Game, our deeds done in the name of love are far gentler, but deeds nevertheless, as you'll discover during Game 1, when a young man we've flown in from Indiana hopes to be chosen by a lovely young lady with whom he had a brief romantic summer interlude. During Game number 2, a comely secretary comes a-calling to meet 3 eligible but unusual bachelors. We'll be off and running with The Dating Game right after this important message.
Marion.
You know, despite what skeptics say, there is such a thing as love at first sight. And said sighting was done last summer by a handsome young surfer at Waikiki Beach. And the object of his affectionate gaze was a lovely young lady who was there on vacation. Now, unfortunately, it was her final day on the island. But their sentimental relationship gathered such a head of steam that he has since made a trip to Los Angeles to visit her, and he's delighted the phone company by running up king-size long-distance bills. And just a few weeks ago, he despairingly told her that he was being drafted. They might never see each other again. Well, how could we resist such a story? We had to fly him in from Indiana for tonight's show just to try to add a romantic postscript to their tale. His fate, of course, is strictly in her hands as we meet our first 3 eligible bachelors, and here they are. To television audiences, the broad-shouldered silhouette of bachelor number 1 may well identify him as a soft-spoken, lovable lout of the hit comedy series No Time for Sergeants. He's currently starring in a wild new MGM Western soon to be released called The Fastest Guitar Alive. May we welcome Sammy Jackson. Standing 6'4", it's reasonable and correct to surmise that bachelor number 2 is an outstanding varsity basketball player. He plans to enter the world of business along administrative lines. He's from Detroit, Michigan. We'd like you to meet Tom Selleck. Good luck, Tom. And when bachelor number 3 came to visit our young lady in Los Angeles, they engaged in such pranks as putting on dark glasses and crashing the gate at a major movie studio. He took her to the theater. She fell asleep while he almost choked on a piece of ice from a soft drink. He's an outstanding champion swimmer who is flown in from Bloomington, Indiana to join us this evening. We'd like you to meet Pete Hammer. Pete. And there they are, 3 lively gentlemen guaranteed to give our young lady a merry ride on our dating go-round. Of course, in order to keep our young lady from hearing the introductions of our 3 gentlemen, we've kept her isolated off stage in a soundproof booth. May we introduce her to you right now. Vivacious and enthusiastic, she's majoring in history and spends her free time skiing, boating, and swimming. We'd like you to meet Madonna Brow. Hello, Madonna. Good evening. Welcome to The Dating Game. You are, I hope, familiar with how we play, right? It's very simple. You ask the questions, then you figure out which one you like best, all right? And then we set up a date for you. Now, before we start, let's have the gentlemen say good evening to you in their best voice. Number 1, would you say good evening to Madonna, please?
Howdy, Madonna.
Thank you. Number 2.
Hello, Madonna.
Number 3.
Good evening, Madonna.
All right, they're all ready to go. Now, you have your questions ready?
Yes.
Okay, Madonna, then have a seat right here. Fire them away, they'll answer. Let's have some fun and good luck.
Okay, number 1. What to you would be a welcome change in women?
You.
Me? Well, thank you. Number 3?
I'd go for that. I'd go for you.
Okay. Number 2. If you were to apply for a mail order bride, how would the order read?
Reasonably tall, good looking, good personality, and not too inhibited.
Okay, number 3?
Baby, I need you so badly. Please pick me.
Number 1.
Well, on an order of that nature, I think I would have a stipulation of satisfaction guaranteed.
Thank you. Number 3, promise me something that nobody's ever promised me before.
I promise I'll be true to you the rest of my life.
Oh, number 2?
I promise to fall in love with you if you pick me, for sure.
Oh, that's a bargain. Number 1?
Well, I'm sure a lady of your caliber has probably heard a lot of false promises, so I would surprise you by saying, I promise I ain't much, but I'm all you got.
Thank you. Number 2, if you were a statue, what would you be doing and what would you be called?
I'd be holding a fig leaf, and I'd be called nude.
Number 3, can you top that?
I'd probably be a big toad.
Okay, number 1.
I would probably want to be a statue of a soldier sitting on a horse in a gray uniform and called Robert E. Lee.
Okay, number 3. Give me one good reason why I should come over and visit you.
I'm tall, dark, and handsome and ride high in the saddle.
All right, that's it. Sorry, Madonna. The signal means time's up, and now you have exactly 60 seconds to make up your mind which of our 3 mystery bachelors is going to be your choice. And meanwhile, we'll take time out for this message. Welcome back to the dating game. And Madonna, you're on the spot. This is the moment of truth now where you tell the fellas over there and everybody across the country too which one appealed to you the most. Was it bachelor number 1, bachelor number 2, or bachelor number 3? Which one is your choice?
Well, I think number 3.
Bachelor number 3. Okay. You like him when they ride tall in the saddle, huh? Any particular reason why you selected him?
No reason.
Because he rides tall in the saddle? Well, you're a tall girl, and I'm sure that if he wasn't lying, he'll be just right for you. Before we meet him, I'd like you to meet the gentleman you did not select. You did not select bachelor number 2, and he rides tall in the saddle, too. He's 6'4". Varsity basketball player, would like to be a businessman someday, from Detroit, Michigan, Tom Selleck. Tom, come on and say hello to Madonna. It's about the right height, isn't it? Madonna, you also did not select bachelor number 1, and this gentleman is one of the funniest and most talented actors around. His new MGM film is Fastest Guitar Alive, and most people know him, I guess, for his starring role in No Time for Sergeants, Mr. Sammy Jackson. Sammy, come on and say hello to Madonna. Sammy, nice going, old Robert E. Lee.
I lost again, didn't I, Jim?
Yeah, oh, well, that's, you know, we have something for you, though, Sammy, and for both of you, as a matter of fact. You played a great game. You're in there pitching all the way. So the next time you pitch a party at your pad, for each of you, we have this Columbia record player, plus a selection of Columbia record LP albums for the greatest sound on record, featuring the exciting Andy Williams and his Columbia album, In the Arms of Love. Thank you so much for playing the dating game with us. Sammy, good luck. We'll see you. Thank you, Tommy. Okay, are you ready? This is the moment when you find out exactly what you've done. Let me tell you something about the gentleman that you did select. Madonna, you selected a fellow that you know. That's right. As a matter of fact, you met him on the beach at Waikiki. The last time you talked to him, you thought he was going to be drafted and you'd never see him again. Here he is from Bloomington, Indiana, Pete Hammer. Pete, come on and say hello to Madonna Brown. You're shaking, Madonna, but hold her hand. She's a little nervous there, Pete, and I'll tell you what you're going to do. Madonna, it appears that we're about to run out of the month of January, which is obvious, but there's many an anniversary in February which we can commemorate with your dream date. For instance, since February is both Lincoln and Washington's birth month, how about a wild weekend in either Springfield, Illinois, or Mount Vernon in Virginia? How would that be? Actually, the February event we know you'll enjoy the most is one of the biggest bashes ever invented. You and Pete are going to the city where it was invented. You two are going to celebrate the Mardi Gras in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's right. Your home base in New Orleans for your chaperone dream date to the Mardi Gras will be the luxurious Hotel Orleans, right smack in the middle of all the music, merriment, and madness. On Friday night, you'll see the classic Mardi Gras parade. You'll stroll through the colorful French Quarter. Take a trip upriver on a genuine old Mississippi side-wheeler. And on the final night of the Mardi Gras, you and Pete Madonna are cordially invited to attend the lavish Super Ball of the Mystic Crew of Myth in the Grand Ballroom of the Royal Orleans Hotel. What else can I tell you except have a ball on your chaperone dream date to the Mardi Gras in New Orleans. Thank you so much, Madonna. And Pete, congratulations. Got a little makeup on there. An energetic young lady is the business secretary who makes her choice from 3 unusual gentlemen. Next on the dating game, and that session starts right after Johnny Jacobs tells us about this evening's special gifts for our special guests. Mr. Jacobs.
Couldn't be more delighted, James. And we're sure our lovely dating gals will be delighted to receive Tuvara Perfume by Tuvache. Tuvara, it's the perfume that the in crowd rates the most. For our dating bachelors, From the International Tape Cartridge Corporation, a selection of 8-track stereo tape cartridges, including Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass, Lawrence Welk, David Rose, Jack Jones, plus Enoch Light's new hit tape, Spanish Strings. Plus, an 8-track tape playback unit from Automatic Radio. Now back to Jim Lang in the dating game.
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you. Hey, our next board of bachelors represent many different occupations, a variety of gentlemen, including a comedian, a sales representative, and a swinging disc jockey. Now, which one will our pretty secretary favor? Well, that remains to be seen as we meet our 3 eligible bachelors, and here they are. Not only is he one of America's favorite funny men, he has been producing a television series this season for another fine funny man named Milton Berle. He's a headline nightclub artist. He starred on his own television situation comedy series. Many people know him as Jose Jimenez, or his alter ego, Bill Dana. A member of a local barbershop quartet, Bachelor number 2 is also a member of the sales department of another television network, and they're going to have to twist my arm before I say CBS. From Santa Ana, California, here is Dean LaGraw. Good luck, Dean. And a disc jockey for a local radio station which swings with the in sound, Bachelor number 3 faced the television cameras for 2 years as the host of Shebang. He'll soon be seen in an Allied artist film called 2,000 Years Ago, in which, strangely enough, he plays a way-out disc jockey. Please meet Casey Kasem. There they are, and our young lady certainly has 3 diversified dandies from whom to make her choice. Now, in order to keep her from hearing the introductions of our 3 gentlemen, we have kept her isolated off stage in a soundproof booth. May we introduce her to you right now. She studied at both the University of California and the University of Vienna before becoming a secretary. From San Jose, California, please welcome Patty Foster. Hello, Patty. You look very nice tonight. Welcome to the dating game. I'm sure you're familiar with how we do this. You just ask the questions, then make up your mind and yours only, all right? Okay, let's start by having the fellows over there say good evening to you. Bachelor number 1, would you say hello to Patty, please?
Good evening, Patty.
Thank you. Bachelor number 2?
Good evening, Patty, dear. How are you?
And bachelor number 3?
Hi, Patty.
All right, they're ready to go. Now, you have your questions set, Patty? Oh, you're anxious to go? Good. Then have a seat right there. Have some fun, but find out all you can, and good luck.
Number 1, if I ask you to carry me over every threshold we came to just for practice, how would you react?
Oh, I've grown a lot, probably, Patty. But I don't want you to feel sorry for me just because of my war injuries.
Number 2, how would you react?
Well, I don't think I've grown a lot, but I try to do the job as nicely and as comfortably for you as possible, dear.
And number 3?
Well, I don't have a lot of money, but I think I'd hire a cab or something like that. I'd try to find somebody else to do it so that I wouldn't extend too much energy.
Okay. Number 2, what would you do if you brought me home late from a date and my ex-boyfriend was waiting outside in his karate uniform?
In his karate,
Yes,
I'd
in the
walk up
driveway.
and I would shake his hand and I'd say, congratulations on being the loser, but she's my girlfriend now, and I also took karate.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Number 2, what would you do?
That was number 2.
Oh, number 1, what would you do?
I'd say, hi, I'm a veteran, about my injuries.
Which war, she wants to know, number 1?
1812, of course.
Number 3, tell me your favorite thing to do when you were little.
I tell you, I loved to go to the candy store and, you know, reach out and touch all the different kinds of candy because it made the man who owned the candy store the maddest. Yeah. And I always wanted to upset him as much as I could because every time I brought a pop bottle in, you know, and wanted to collect 3 cents on it, he looked at me like I was taking his last penny, you know, and all I just wanted to be a nice guy, and so I used to finger all of his candy for him.
Right. Number 1, what would you do when you were little, your favorite thing?
When I was little, the favorite thing I used to do was to watch my daddy kick this guy out of the candy store.
place us in the most romantic setting you can think of and then propose to me.
Place us in the most romantic setting. On my boat off the coast of Miami. And with dinner late, very, very late in the evening after a long day's date. And I would say, darling, I'm not very much. I'm just an ordinary guy, but I love you madly, and would you marry me?
Wonderful. Number one?
Forget it. I love him. I'm only kidding. I would,
Never mind. Number three, can you top that?
He's not through.
Wait, oh!
Can I top that? I'll tell you what happened. I sort of had a feeling you'd ask that question, and so did number one. And so before the show started, he says, listen, can you help me out? And I gave him that answer.
Number one, tell me honestly, would you ever marry a girl for her money?
No, I don't think, honestly, I would. I would accept you just as you are, because you mean you got no money?
Number two, would you ever marry a girl for her money?
Oh, top that. No, dear, honestly, I really wouldn't. I would probably marry you, if you were talking about you and I would probably marry you just because you're your sweet, honest, sincere-sounding self.
Number three.
Oh, that's all, Patty. That's the signal. Now you have 60 seconds to make up your mind which of our three mystery bachelors will be your choice for a big swinging date. And meanwhile, let's listen to this message. Hey, and welcome back to the dating game. And Patty, this is it. I know you've been puzzling the problem. Now you're going to have to tell everybody. Which one will it be? Will it be bachelor number one, bachelor number two, or bachelor number three for your wild dream date? Which one is it going to be?
I'm afraid I'm going to have to choose number one.
Bachelor number one. His war injuries didn't influence you, did they? Any particular reason why you selected him?
It was so funny, I guess.
All right, well, I think you're going to have a great time with him on the date, and before you meet him, I'd like to tell you about the other two gentlemen, all right? You did not select bachelor number two, who had some honest answers for you. He would love you for yourself if you had selected him. He's with the sales department at CBS. He's a member of a local barbershop quartet from Santa Ana, California, Dean LeGraw. Dean, come on and say hello to Patty Foster. Dean, you did beautifully. Thank you so very much. You were just outdone there, I think, by humor.
A little competition.
Yeah, you did not select bachelor number three either, Patty. And this gentleman is a local disc jockey. I'm sure you know him. For 2 years, he was the host of Shebang, a new movie called 2,000 Years Ago. When he plays a DJ, Casey Kasem. Casey, come on and say hello to Patty Foster. Casey, come on over here and accept condolences.
Well, we had some tough competition.
Yeah, well, listen, you three played beautifully, and I hope you can come back and join us again. And gentlemen, the dating game this evening hopes that you'll be the best-dressed bachelors in town when each of you receives a Botany 500 sports blazer tailored by Daroff. Botany 500 gives you the perfect fit, smart look, and comfort of the finest made custom clothes. Quality and luxury are yours in Botany 500, tailored by Daroff. Casey, thank you so much. Thank you, buddy. Right. Okay. This is it.
You want to know?
Oh, yes, you do. A very funny man. Let me tell you something else about him. He should be funny because he is a comedian. He produced the Milton Berle Show this season, and you probably know him a little better from his own television series as Jose Jimenez. You have a date with Mr. Bill Dana. Bill, come on and say hello to Patty Foster. Bill, congratulations. Well, I'll tell you what, Patty, since you were safely stashed in our isolation booth at the time, you don't know that our first couple will be attending the Mardi Gras in New Orleans, which is definitely a wild scene. Well, by the happiest of coincidences, there's another happening in February, just as smart, sassy, and swinging as the Mardi Gras. And we certainly want the dating game well represented at that annual bash, too. That's why we are sending you and Bill on your dream date to the colossal carnival celebration in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Colorful, captivating, and crazy, that's carnival time in Rio, where you two will be going for your chaperone dream date. You'll tour the town in your own limousine, take the cable ride to the top of Sugarloaf to enjoy one of the most beautiful views in the world. You'll visit the famous Rio beaches, see the city of Petropolis, summer resort of Rio society, and of course plunge into the mad, merry midst of the carnival in Rio with its many pageants and parades. Travel arrangements for your chaperone dream date to Rio de Janeiro have been made by TWA, whose luxurious Starstream jets nationwide and worldwide extend a warm welcome to the world of Trans World Airlines. Have 4 beautiful and breathless days in Rio and enjoy the carnival. Patty, thank you. Bill, you can revert to Jose over there and you'll be just fine.
We gotta get our shots.
He says he has to go get his shots. Oh, boy. Well, as I was walking down a windy, fog-shrouded street in San Francisco last weekend, trying to keep the cold from cutting through my coat, one small thought managed to penetrate my numb mind. I said to myself, Jim Lang, do you know where our dating couple, Rich Little and Jan Johnson, are right at this moment? And don't think I didn't know, because I knew. I knew that they were under full sail along the French Riviera aboard their own private yacht with our dating game chaperone, Kay King. They boarded the 60-foot schooner Bohème at Nice. Their ports of call included Cannes, the casino at Monte Carlo, the tiny picturesque town of Monaco, and the perfume capital of Grasse. Wow. This is Jim Lang saying thank you, good night. We hope you always get the date that you want. So we go kiss, ready, let it run.
It's another ho-hum night and you don't have any plans. Well, at least you're in good company. Celebrity Dating Game, weeknights at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on Game Show Network.
Well, we're going to be game today with Tom Selleck as a contestant. Too bad he didn't win. I'll tell you this, we'll see you next time for another edition of Al Kirk Presents. Good night, all.
It's many things I'm thinking about it. You can bring us with fun, come on. Set the government, come down. We're dating, chilling with the state. Well, but I will be